Hey, Cub fans. Thanks for joining us here on Cubs 24/7, where Randy talks Cubs. And we're going to talk new bench coach Ryan Flaherty. I've been really looking forward to the 2024 season for a lot of reasons. And one of them is I'm looking forward to watching Craig Counsell manage. I was impressed with him when he was coach of the Brewers. I'm excited for what he brings, even though I'm not really all that sure what it's going to look like. But I just think it's going to be interesting. And he's got a bench coach that I just didn't know, Ryan Flaherty. And as we know, the bench coach and the manager pretty much double team everything. It's going to be two minds making these big decisions. And I just realized I didn't know that much about Ryan Flaherty, if any, really. And I'm assuming that we're alike in that way. So I thought, well, I'll just do a profile on him and kind of get a feel for who Ryan Flaherty is. He's our new bench coach, and we just don't know that much about him. So let's kick back, relax. I'll tell you what I found out about Ryan Edward Flaherty, born July 27th of 86. So he's a 37-year-old. He's a young guy out of Portland, Maine. He had an 8-year major league career and a utility player during his time in the bigs. Played every position except catcher and center field. He was 6'3", 205, hit left, and bats right. But I want to talk about his dad for a little bit because I think the fact that his dad is a baseball coach and he grew up in it sort of lends itself to him being a student of the game, knowledgeable of the game at a certain level that other guys wouldn't be. So Ryan's dad, Edward, was a star player in his own right at the University of Maine. Well, he's now the head coach at the University of Southern Maine. It's a Division II school in Gorham, Maine. He's been the coach there for 32 years. In fact, he's iconic there. The baseball field is named after him. So Ryan grew up going to that field. I can picture 2-year-old Ryan going to baseball practice with his dad. So Ryan Flaherty, that's all he knew. He grew up in and around baseball from the time he could walk. So that sort of makes sense. Ryan was a good high school player. He graduated from Deering High School in 2005. In 2004, he led a team called the Nova Seafood to the American Legion World Series Championship, and he won the league's batting title that year. In 2005, he was preseason All-America. He won Maine's Mr. Baseball. He lettered in basketball and football as well. He captained the football team and was such a good football player that he was a finalist for their Fitzpatrick Trophy, which is given to Maine's best football player. So well-rounded athlete. He was the number 141 high school prospect coming out of high school, but he chose to go to college instead, and he goes to Vanderbilt. As a freshman, he's All-American honorable mention. Plays 62 games, hits .339 with a .421 on base. Plays in the Cape Cod League that summer. As a sophomore, he hits .381 with 57 RBIs, .438 on base, 67 games. So Ryan was a really good collegiate player. So good that he got drafted in the draft of 2008. And I don't know if this will surprise you or not. Cubs took him first round in 2008. He played his first 4 professional seasons in our farm system. Played all the way up to Double-A. And did well, played in 322 games, hit .279, .347 on base with a .455 slug, hit 38 home runs, 183 RBIs. And in fact, in 2010, he was listed as the Cubs' number 8 prospect in their top 30 list. And I didn't know that. So I was surprised when I came across that. We lost Ryan in the 2011 Rule 5 draft to the Orioles. Orioles selected him on December 8th of 2011 in the Rule 5 draft, and he turns around and makes their opening day roster. So he ends up playing 6 years with the Orioles, 452 games. His slash line, it's kind of funny because I'm going to read his slash lines for what he did, and it's not great. Decent. He plays in the big leagues, but he hit .215. 284 on base with a .355 slug. 35 home runs, 128 RBIs in his time with the Orioles. So at the end of that stint, he's a free agent. 2018, he signs with the Braves on March 26th. And he ends up playing with the Braves in 2018. They DFA'd him midseason. He cleared waivers, came back, sent to AA, sent to AAA, came back on September 2nd. So it was kind of 2018 was sort of an up and down year for him. But he was active on that Braves team in 2018 that played in the National League Division Series against the Dodgers. They lost that series, and Ryan got 2 at-bats, went 0 for 2. In 2019, he signed a minor league contract with Cleveland. Ends up playing 14 games, but the end is near. In those 14 games in 2019, he hits 143 with a 143 on base and a 238 slug. So the writing was on the wall there. November 24th of 2019, he gets his first job in coaching with the Padres. He becomes the advanced scout and development coach for the Padres, November 24th, 2019. On June 11th, 2022, he's actually named the acting manager of the Padres, replacing Bob Melvin. I guess there was a COVID protocol situation with the manager at the time, Bob Melvin, and Ryan Flaherty became the acting manager. So this is 2022. So basically 3 years removed from his last playing days, he's functioning as the manager of the Padres. On February 3rd of 2023, Padres hired him as their bench coach. And then, of course, on January 2nd of this year, 2024, Cubs hire him. He replaces Andy Green, so he becomes our bench coach. So, young guy, good career, but wow, just from 2019 even to 2022, getting a first shot at managing, that's really quick. That's a young guy. So I was kind of curious about why that is. What is it about him? Well, obviously he grew up in a coach's family. His dad was a great coach. I'm sure he just embedded with it. So he already had a jump start on pretty much everybody in terms of his baseball knowledge, his baseball acumen. And I thought, what's the relationship between him and Craig Counsell? Turns out there really wasn't one, which I kind of like. There is a relationship between Ryan Flaherty and Carter Hawkins. They were teammates at Vanderbilt. So Carter knew Ryan, but Craig really hadn't. But Craig was looking for somebody like that, somebody with a young, fresh outlook, somebody who can really connect and build relationship with the players. And he was just, in these interviews, I guess Ryan just blew Craig Counsell away. So it wasn't that Craig knew him before and wanted to bring him. I'm sure Carter just said, hey, it's probably somebody you want to talk to. But I really like that. I like the way it happened, that Carter knew him, knew his background, but that Craig was looking for somebody like that, and Ryan Flaherty just sort of fit the bill. So I don't know. We'll see. But it's kind of neat going, okay, we've got Craig Counsell and Ryan Flaherty, these two new minds, and knowing their backgrounds. It's just going to be very interesting to see the dynamics from the manager and the bench coach in 2024. So, guys, there's Ryan Flaherty. At least now we have some kind of an idea when we hear of him and listen to him talk, kind of where he's coming from. And I like it. I like his background. I think I like everything about it. So we'll see. Guys, I appreciate you joining me here on Cubs 24/7, where Randy talks Cubs. And if you haven't already and you feel like you can, hit that subscribe button for me. I really appreciate it if you would. And we'll be back very soon. In the meantime, go Cubs, go.